Lupin III's creator, Monkey Punch, originally didn't plan to include a recurring female character, but upon discovering how hard it was to regularly come up with a new bombshell, he designed Fujiko Mine as a sort of generic hot girl every woman. Her name even loosely translates to the peaks of Mount Fuji, highlighting a particular feature of her character design. In spite of her humble beginnings, Fujiko has developed into a complex and compelling character, and is one of my favorite women in anime. Lupin III has been running in some form or other since the 1970s, and Fujiko has been written in many different ways. While some writers have certainly fumbled her character, when she's penned by the right person, she's wonderful. Whip-smart, funny, competent, and strong, she's a formidable woman in full possession of herself and her sexuality, an utterly charming femme fatale, but one with a hint of sadness and ultimately, in spite of all of her tricks and deceptions, a heart of gold. I'd say she's at her best in Part 5. It may come as a surprise to some that in spite of the fact that The Castle of Cagliostro is quite possibly the best Lupin film overall, it is in my opinion one of the very worst realizations of Fujiko's character, and it has everything to do with Hayao Miyazaki. As borderline sacrilegious as it is to make any criticism at all of Miyazaki's depiction of women and girls, it is very clear that he only really likes one type of gal. The Miyazaki girl, brave, practical, and self-sufficient, is undoubtedly a very positive female role. It challenges many stereotypes in the medium and offers a welcome change of pace in the field of anime as a whole. However, it is still a limited expression of femininity that reflects Miyazaki's personal ideas about what a good woman or girl ought to be. Miyazaki's annoyance at having to portray a woman who does not fit his plucky pastoral feminine ideals is palpable in his treatment of Fujiko. In The Castle of Cagliostro, he largely refuses to portray a classic femme fatale, instead rendering Fujiko nearly unrecognizable by dressing her in uncharacteristically modest fatigues and having her act more like a scrappy tough gal than a cosmopolitan and seductive woman of intrigue. The change is not an empowering one, and Fujiko instead feels like a sidelined shadow of her potential, most apparently when she is relegated to cheerfully following Zenigata with a camera rather than participating wholly in a key scene of the film. I've noticed that Western fans are quick to dismiss provocatively designed characters, and I'm sure that at least some of you out there will feel that Miyazaki's treatment of Fujiko is a better representation of women than her character typically provides. In a medium saturated with shallow fan service, I can see that that is an easy conclusion to come to. However, I would invite you to challenge that assumption. There are all kinds of women and girls in the world. Not all of them are chaste and pure, and not all of them are unwaveringly good. Ultimately, truly good representation of women demands nuanced depictions of that diversity of womanhood, not just depictions of a singular ideal.